And this is what moms do. I wish it was happening to me and not my kid. And all the comments, they have fed his soul, and they have fed my soul and all of my family's soul. So thank you.
Good morning. I had 2 really fun days of pretending I didn't have cancer, as far as my eating behavior. And it was really, really fun, not good. But it was really, really fun. Needed for my spirits and my soul. But we've got Dr. Jillian Maley today. She's my naturopath, local doctor. She's going to be instrumental in coordinating testing. We're going to order a full PET scan today. Oh, and for those of you that recommended Paul from Perth, I think is his name, thank you. I'll be watching his videos, reaching out to him. I'm so happy to hear he's in remission. I can't believe it with his story. God, I hope that can be me too. 2 days of absolutely pigging out. It's looking pretty good. 14 pounds up in 2 days. Naughty.
So we are on the ongoing journey of research to figure out what is the best way forward to maximize survival and minimize metastases and just knock this thing out. So I'm reading in Up to Date, which is a very mainstream, thorough review of the literature that's out there in the world. And I'm at the well-differentiated neuroendocrine tumors of the appendix, which we're in that realm.
I thought I didn't have a tumor in my appendix. I know I had a tumor in my large intestine. Is my understanding that my cancer started in my appendix, spread to my large intestine, tumor created there, and then we found it and went from there, wiped it all out?
You're talking to a pediatrician. Retired at that. We haven't met with the oncologist yet. So
anyhow,
all
okay.
I can say is this. I'm reading right now about tumors of the appendix of your type. This is what I was excited to read. The best available evidence, which is limited, suggests that perforation has no influence on the prognosis of classical appendiceal neuroendocrine tumors. In a literature review of 103 patients with classical appendiceal neuroendocrine tumors and associated perforation, no peritoneal recurrence or death was described. Thus, the presence of perforation need not influence the treatment or post-treatment surveillance plan. It's just nice to read sometimes that nobody out of 103 died.
Yes, I appreciate you sharing that with me. I will take any little bit of hope, any little bit of news that might ease my spirits. I'm trying to look up for that peace of mind.
You're on a journey that gives you really bad news. That's a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And no, I'm so proud of you for you've already embarked on a spiritual journey for the last year plus. And I've sensed a real growth in that area to where I should probably be taking notes from you.
You're silly.
So yeah, keep it up. That is the peace that passes all understanding.
My dad and I are off to my first official appointment post-surgery. This is going to be with my primary care physician, Dr. Maley. She's going to be someone who has already told us she's willing and available to order tests that we need, tests that other doctors think are pertinent and important on this journey. So yeah, we're going to go do that. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Jeez. All right, guys, so we just finished my first official medical appointment post-hospital. So we're going to summarize what this visit was and what we might learn from it and where we're going from here. What labs did we just order?
There's 2 big issues when you're early in your cancer journey. You want to establish a baseline, and PET scan is something that I was able to do some research and find out that it actually is recommended even by mainstream oncologists in situations such as his. So what that does is it will light up. You get contrast that basically gets gobbled up by hungry cells like cancer cells. And so then when they take the images whole body, if it lights up anywhere, you know you've got cancer metastasis wherever it's lighting up.
It would have to be pretty small though, right? Because they did a CT scan and they very plainly said, we don't have any tumors
Correct.
in my abdomen, in my chest, and my pelvis.
Yeah.
So is this something that would be so sensitive that it would pick up on like a cancerous node?
Absolutely. So anywhere where there's a massive amount of activity, even if it was a tiny little node, that would light up.
I see.
People who have metastasis to their bones, for example, you'll have your bone marrow lighting up. Not that this particular cancer is super likely to go to bone, but it's a good baseline. So what we're doing here is getting input from all our experts. We're calling them coaches and consultants who are mainstream and alternative, who have dealt with cancer and in some cases his kind. And we need to find biomarkers so that as we go through this journey, I mean, the dream is the PET scan's negative and your biomarkers come back negative, and we're still going to be careful.
It's just strange to be like listening in on these conversations. They're my appointments, but to answering questions, learning about these labs, talking about what we might find, what we're hoping not to find, and to think about it as like, oh yeah, this is me. Like, we're hoping not to find these markers on me. Like, I'll be taking the chemotherapy me if this happens. Like, I'm the one with cancer. Like, it's a strange thing that I'm still coming to terms with.
You took the last couple days, it was New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Yeah.
To just sort of let this go. I stayed away intentionally. I wanted you and your wife to have some quality time. It sounds like you had a wonderful time.
Just a wonderful time.
And that was a reminder. So I know some of you watching have similar journeys, and it's tough.
Yeah.
But it was a reminder to you told me it was important to realize and to focus on my own mental health.
I pretended I didn't have cancer for a couple days.
There you go.
And I ate some ice cream, which I'm not supposed to do and won't be doing at all going forward. But I allowed myself to disconnect from this cancer diagnosis, which feels very enveloping. It feels very all-consuming because it's so serious,
Yep.
You brought up hyperbaric chamber and or
hyperbaric oxygen.
Spot.
Yep.
You brought up the high-dose vitamin C treatment or whatever therapy, which I heard in conjunction with traditional and non-traditional chemotherapy, for example, is very, very supportive. But we also talked about a naturopathic doctor in our local town who actually seems to be a specialist in keto for cancer. I've been pretty upfront that I've struggled with my ability to handle the version of keto that I've been trying to figure out as I go. I do have a pretty simplistic view on keto, but I thought that was kind of exciting to potentially get at least one meeting with a local expert who can help me understand how to thoughtfully implement, given how sensitive my digestion I think always has been, but certainly is now that I've had this surgery. So those are all things to come, I guess, which I thought might be good to let them know.
Yep. And we will, by the time next week rolls around, we will probably have a pretty long list of important supplements and adjunct therapy like the HBOT, like the high-dose vitamin C, to say, hey, this is what we're already doing. We're still waiting for our oncology people. And we are aware that we're open to other big ventures as far as if necessary. I know you've had comments that you need to get to this cancer center or that cancer center
or go visit this expert.
We're not saying no to anything right now. We're just it needs to be methodical because we already have a few cooks and we're going to get more. We're going to get a big team. But then we're going to also figure out what is the right order.
Okay, let's try another subcutaneous TRT injection and see if this goes a little better than the last one. Single ml syringes, a 22 gauge needle, 0.1 ml because I'm like multiple days behind. Use it to wipe this, to sterilize my lower abdomen. Just a little over, should be fine for today. All right, so we replace the needle head. Dude, not bad. The sub-Q thing every day is going to be good. I'm really curious to see what my blood levels are going to be pinning. It'll be like 0.08 every day. So we'll see how that goes. We want to keep my estrogen low. Anyway, time to go to the gym. All right, guys, so it is evening time. I'm here with my mom, Maya. You may have seen her in one of the early videos when I was in the hospital. She hasn't been on the channel very much since I was diagnosed with my stage 3 cancer. She's been with me still, but not with me in my house every day like my dad has, as he organizes the medical side of this to the best of his ability. But I wondered if it might have been an okay time, or it might be an okay time for you guys just to say hi to my mom, who is going through something I've never been through, which is to have her firstborn child diagnosed with a dangerous potential outcome diagnosis like cancer. So I wanted to just give you a chance to say hi to the channel, because you've been following along with people's support, and just ask you how you're doing through all this.
Well, it is every mother's nightmare.
Yeah.
To have this happen to her kid. And I was just saying to Noah, it would be, and this is what moms do. I wish it was happening to me and not my kid, but it's not. So my role is to just be his rock, his cheerleader. I'm grateful that his father has the ability to reach out and do what he does. And I'm going to do what I do, which is just be that mom that gives the energy and the attaboys and the positiveness, and still be real, because this is the scariest thing I've ever gone through, and I've gone through a lot in my 70 years. So I want to thank you all for all your support and all the comments. They have fed his soul, and they have fed my soul and all of my family's soul. So thank you for being there for my boy.
Love you.
I love you.
Shower my mom with some love. If you're a mom and you've been through cancer of one of your kids, post some words of encouragement for her if you'd be willing. Like she said, your words of encouragement to me are just life-giving at the moment, and I'm very grateful. So thank you for coming on and saying hi, and thank you to you guys, and we'll do a more in-depth conversation soon. So what I'm supposed to be focusing on, being 2.5 weeks out from surgery, is not engaging my core. All we do in fitness is engage our core, but it really hasn't been that hard to essentially just breathe out, then lift or squat or whatever. Granted, I'm keeping my weights really low, but it hasn't been that hard to do. This is my wife, Jessie, by the way. She's coaching the class right now. All right, guys, thank you for being with me for another day of my life. And yeah, just know that you're wanted and appreciated. It feels good to be back in my gym, and it felt good. Just, you know, I'm having the weirdest experience where, other than like the surgery slowing me down and the notion that I have a dangerous cancer in my body, other than that, I feel very normal, like in here, kinda. So when people ask me like, how are you? I'm inclined to say I'm good, because I'm so blessed and my mood's pretty good, but I'm troubled. And so there's this other part of me that just wants to say I'm not doing so well. It's confusing. I wonder if any of you have ever been through that. But anyway, it was a good workout. It was a good day. Take care. Check in with me in the comments section, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.